It's common.
If you think about it, from we're talking about mentality and how long war's been going on. One of my favorite books is the I keep wanting to say 300 because that's the movie now.
What is it?
But that's the gosh, I just said it's one of my favorite books. We're gonna have to edit this out because I'm gonna look silly.
What movie was it? I could probably
300 was the movie, but loosely.
Gates of Fire.
Gates of Fire. I kept on saying
Or something like, I think it's Gates of Fire.
Gates of Fire.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
going to say hot gates, warm gates, but
Yeah.
those are terminology that 300 used. Anyway, start this over. one of my favorite books. You're going to edit this out, right?
No. Why would I do that?
Perfect.
Yeah.
One of my. I hope I edited something out for you and you feel bad.
You didn't.
Did you say something stupid?
No. Well, I probably did. But you guys didn't edit anything out.
You know what? Now I'm going to edit something in to make you look silly, just to get back at you.
Just cut to me and some weird whatever. Yeah.
Thank you. Gates of Fire.
Yep.
I think I read that during the Q course. But what stood out more than anything to me about that book wasn't like the battles and like the storyline. It was the mentality. Like and 300 like does a good job of capturing like the Spartan mentality. But the book does an even better job. And it's amazing. And any young man, I don't even care if you're in the military or not, read that book. And that is, I don't want to say it's such an odd perspective that like, I don't know how to explain it very well other than we're indoctrinated to have like this view on manhood and this view on what's courageous and this view that it's really hard to see a different perspective because the norm is the norm. And so unless someone comes and tells you something different, you're not going to see it. And when I read that book, I was like, man, I never thought about war in that way. I'll give examples. I'm going to butcher these sayings, but essentially one of the squires or one of the guys trained to be a Spartan went up to go see what battle actually looked like because he'd seen these guys train for a long time, but he'd never actually seen battle. And when he goes up there on the hill and watches the battle, he's horrified. He's like, guys are screaming for their mom. Guys are screaming in pain. Guys he'd never thought he'd ever see scared were scared. Guys he thought were unkillable were dying. He was like, he comes back and he's shaking. He's like, I thought this was the worst thing I'd ever seen in my life. And you guys are always running around talking about like how great war is. I just saw war. War ain't great, buddy. And Nikes overhears this and calls him over and goes, let me tell you about war. He's like, war is amazing. Like only in the holy millstone and grinding of war do you actually see what a man is made of. Only in war do the best of men actually shine through. Like, don't be fooled that the arts and and being kind are these things that you should strive for to be a man. Like those are easily achievable. Like what you see at war, like brothers defending brothers, like that is the ultimate level of manliness. And I really probably should have brought it up and read it verbatim because like what his retort to him, like I read that going, wow, like I didn't see the second half coming, like the way he was able to explain the goodness. I know this is going to sound like such an oxymoron, but only guys maybe who have seen it like understand that what the goodness of war actually is. And people can hear that for a second, cut that into a shortened clip sound bite and be like, what is this guy talking about? He's an idiot. But again, but anyone who would have heard me kind of just laid that out and has been there to some degree. I'm not glorifying war completely, but I'm also not saying, hey, like, for you idiots out there to go, hey, war isn't the answer. Violence is never the answer.
Give war a chance.
Well, hold on, and if sometimes war is the answer, let me tell you, true war isn't completely bad. Like, you've been talking to a guy who's had some really bad days. Like both of us know, we can talk about how horrible it was, but when after this, when me and you go have a cigar out back, we're not going to talk about how horrible war is. Like, what do we talk about?
How awesome it was.
How awesome it was.
Yeah.
And so, it's weird. It's from the outside, maybe it's weird to hear, but that book really encapsulates that mindset.
And I think so. And I love that you brought that up. Like in that book, and I brought this up on other podcasts too. It's like, for me, film translated that exact same thing. Like, you watch Saving Private Ryan, it's not glorifying it, but you see through action that story structure, brotherhood. They also have brotherhood.
Right.
And fighting wars, you're going to lose. But what's the end goal mission? What's the overall? But also too, it's just like, you're here to do a job, and guys that have only fought wars that truly been in combat, like truly been into combat. Understand that this is absolutely necessary, and like, you have to have people willing to do violence on other people, like. And be very good at it. And also, I wouldn't say enjoy it, but, my wife, we were having fireworks. She's like, we make jokes about PTSD all the time. She's like, with the fireworks going on. And she's like, do you actually like, because my brother-in-law was over too this last weekend. And she's like, so what do you like, how do you actually react to that? And I was like, honestly, it's like, I miss it. It's thrilling. Like, I hear the firecrackers. She goes, does it actually sound? I was like, yeah, sometimes. I mean, you hear like, as I said, it's in the distance. It's in the boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
And I was like, honestly, I enjoy it. Like, I told her, I was like, when I went into Ukraine in 2022, I was like, I felt at home. Like, I felt like I crossed that border, and I was like, man, I am back to what I felt every time I stepped on that plane to go back into combat when I was in the Marines. Every time I stepped on that plane to go back into Afghanistan as a contractor, because to turn it, knowing I might turn it on, is just like, and also, how to operate, like, again, we talk about guys he's a good dude. He's dependent. Like, you're a part of that, the group of us that you can turn it on when you need to turn it on. And you're good at it. You're good at war. And that's another thing that I know people get into trouble with, but like, you're good at war.
Right.
Like, you can operate in the black, like under fire, and being able to make decisions calmly and strategically. And you guys got it's almost about repetitions and being really good at it. I was fortunate enough to have enough reps before my battle, but that's, I think, what it comes down to. It's just like, you're good at it. You're good at war. And I think some of these guys they don't want to admit it. You want to be humble. We talk about the humble thing, but at the end of the day, it's like, I'm good at war. Yeah, you're good at it, and you can go in, you can do what you need to do, and you can get out, or you can handle yourself in the chaos, the mastery in the chaos.
Self-control is, I think, one of the, maybe one of the most underrated attributes of a man. And what I mean by that is the self-control of being able to control your emotions, control your thoughts. All those things are controllable. You just choose not to. But to control your violence. You talked about, getting a chance to unleash your violent side, and this war on, toxic masculinity, and that men are violent. Good men are violent, and that sounds like a weird thing to say, but you're not a good man if you're not capable of violence. You're not a peaceful man if you're not capable of violence. You're peaceful because that's the only speed or mode you have. That's the only thing you're capable of. When violent men are peaceful, that's something, because they chose to be peaceful, and they probably could have ended this in a different way if they wanted to. but they chose to work it out because they can control their emotions.
That's a Jordan Peterson quote, which I think was great. It was that he said, "A good man is a violent man that has it under control," or something along those lines. I know
That's exactly right. Yeah, I've heard that before, and that's and real that's the speech I'm kind of referencing. I've said this before in the past. He just said it better than than I did. But it's absolutely true. Like, you have to have violent men in a society, but you have to have men with self-control, and that's in several aspects.